on the heels of 6-time Academy Award-winning smash hit La La Land, which I loved. Did you?
I didn't say it.
Okay. Actor Ryan Gosling and Oscar-winning director Damien Chazelle. You would like it, actually. They're back together again, this time in the space biopic First Man.
I really want to see this. To tell us more, Weekend Sunrise movie man Jason Jabba Davis is right here. There's quite a bit of Oscar buzz around for Ryan Gosling. Is it great? Is he great?
I love the film. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. So there's a lot of expectation for Damien Chazelle after La La Land. Of course, he's grabbed Ryan Gosling, his lead in that film, and teamed him up with Claire Foy to play Neil Armstrong, the celebrated astronaut. But we don't really know too much about. This is the story of the space race in the 60s and, of course, the first man on the moon. He won Best Director for La La Land, but Moonlight won Best Picture. So this is his revenge flick. It's a story about the moon. Now, if you're watching Seven Mate last night, you would have seen Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck in Armageddon. Armageddon, this ain't. Okay, this is a much more low-key story. In half the film, we're following the family with these kind of home movie feel scrutiny of their domestic life, and then it goes into these incredible space sequences that put us in this, you know, it's basically a Coke can they went to the moon in.
So could you take your kids to this?
100%.
Right.
100%. There's some heavy themes. They suffer personal tragedy at the start of the film, but I think that's something, if you've ever seen a Disney film, you know, if you've seen Bambi, then you can cope with it.
And from the little shorts that I've seen, it seems that Claire Foy's character, Armstrong's wife, is resentful at times for the danger.
I think Janet lives with, as all the astronauts and their families live with, this overriding mortality over their existence. Let's take a look at First Man.
They were essentially taking military ballistic missiles and replacing the nuclear payload with people.
Makes you all the more cognizant of how brave these people were.
We have serious problems.
So it left Mel a little bit cold because the characters, the Armstrong family, they're a little bit distant, and I thought that was the point of it, because he's not like Buzz Aldrin's played by Corey Stoll in the film, who was the villain in the recent Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Buzz Aldrin seems hungry for the limelight. Neil Armstrong isn't. 4 stars for me, it's out of this world.
His sons cooperated, did they not, in the making of the movie? So it is. So that angst or that awkwardness amongst the family, that's genuine.
Yeah, and I think he was a really loving, caring dad. You know, the kids weighed in and said it's a great portrayal of the way that, you know, when he was at home, he did play, but incredible pressure. You'd imagine being at NASA in the 60s. The Russians are up there. They've got to get to the moon. And as Ryan Gosling said in one of his interviews, there's more technology in our iPhone today than there was for the entire mission to get to the space. Other guys burned up on the launch pad. Compelling viewing. And one of the makeup girls was just saying to me, you know, you gave Crazy Rich Asians a massive rap. I went and saw it, was a bit disappointed. It's hard when you big up a film.
Yeah,
and this one has got Oscar hopes pinned on it already, but I loved it.
You have to manage your expectations.
Exactly.
Just as a bit of a yard, so Apollo 11 was a brilliant film, I thought, of going into space. Is it
13? Apollo 13, Tom Hanks?
Apollo 13.
Yeah, brilliant film.
They were on Apollo 11.
Yeah.
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 As good as?
Yeah, absolutely. As good as Gravity. But a lot more low-key. So half the film is space, the other half they're on the ground kind of, you know, making coffee. Now, big expectations for this next film. It comes from a guy called Drew Goddard, who wrote The Martian, brilliant Matt Damon space film. He also gave us a film called The Cabin in the Woods, one of the great horror films of 2012. This one is called Bad Times at the El Royale, the El Royale being a motel that straddles the state lines between Nevada and California. 7 strangers turn up one night. They've all got different ambitions. A soul singer, a vacuum cleaner salesman, and we find a priest played by Jeff Bridges. Everybody's got a bit of a backstory. There's more going on here than meets the eye. Let's take a look at Bad Times at the El Royale.
Did you think you could just take what's mine? I wouldn't come home.
No, I figured you would, and I'd be ready when you did.
Are you lost, Father?
Can I confess something to you? I'm not really a priest.
Yeah, had big expectations. It's very dark. For me, it's a bit of a wannabe Tarantino meets The Twilight Zone. It's long. The characters and the performances are fantastic, but there's all these stories set up that are never really paid off. The hotel's got these dark secrets. Chris Hemsworth with his shirt off, is that really enough to kind of tide you through 2.5 hours? So it didn't work for me, but I reckon with a 2.5 star, people will go, no, it wasn't that bad, Jabba.
Well, there you go. Yeah, he's a hard marker, that Jabba.
Exactly.
But you do a great job, and I do love a man that wears a lanyard.
Look
at that. Every week he comes in with on it a lanyard and his keys.
When you're going to need. And of course, that's Emmett. from the Lego movie. He's a little bit worse for wear,
You are
unfortunately.
committed to your craft, aren't you?
Exactly right.
You're an enormous nerd for having that on.
Thank you very much.
There are lanyard wearers and non-lanyard wearers.
It's all about the lanyard. Next week, A Star Is Born. I don't know if I've ever seen so much hype around a film. Sally Bowery went and saw it. She said she died. That's why she's not here today, unfortunately.
Really? It's sad. Hopefully that she reincarnates. We've got her back.
Fingers crossed. She is risen.
Thank you so much, Jazz.